What's up, everybody? Welcome to BioLighten TV. I've actually gotten quite a few people asking me to put up more videos on this channel. And we're going to go ahead and do this one today, which, we're living in some very, very strange times. And I think it's a great time. We're technologically advanced to the max right now. It's probably only going to get better. But we're seeing things right now that, just bear with me. Of course, this channel is about the spirituality, so the weird things that you're going to hear here are probably not so weird. If you're watching this channel, it's probably not going to be weird to you. It's probably going to be something you understand. Aaron and I were talking this morning about the hurricanes that are hitting right now. There's Irma, there's Harvey, there's Jose, there's another tropical storm, all in one area being just condensed into one thing. We were talking about the fires that are out in California. One thing that I did not know about, Aaron knew about, were earthquakes that are going on also all through the Pacific Ocean, Mexico. Stuff going on right now that really you're like, what the hell is going on? Like, this is a lot of, destruction that's happening right now. There's like a tsunami warning or tsunami watch in Mexico. Like, there's a lot of destruction going on right now. What the hell is going on? And we were talking about Nostradamus and how he was predicting the future and the things he was saying. And it's funny because Aaron didn't even know that I barely read. I'm not a reader. I have dyslexia and ADD. I have a very, very hard time reading. But I did read some of Nostradamus' stuff when I was younger. I was very interested in how, the stories of him seeing man flying in the eye of a mosquito. It was a helicopter. Like, he was accurate with some things. And he predicted the end of days, okay, which is like a biblical thing. And this is not a religious thing. The end of days is a religious thing. The Judgment Day, the end of days, Armageddon, all that stuff. But he predicted, and I think his exact words were, the world would not be the same as we know it. The world would change as we know it. It would be the end of the world as we know it. Something to that effect, which people thought, end of the world, end of days. This is it. While all this stuff is going on, North Korea has now created these missiles and this hydrogen bomb that they can apparently launch with these missiles and hit America. Now, here's the deal. I don't know if anyone else noticed, but Aaron and I have been noticing that we're racially divided. I mean, there's so much going on right now in this country. People, it's not even so much about race, too. Like, there's people talking about fascism. They don't even know what fascism is, but they're actually themselves are fascists. But fascism, racism, this, that, poor. I mean, you name it. Like, everybody's arguing. Everybody's fighting. Everybody's at odds with each other, right? And that's not the way it's supposed to be. I mean, it's not what we're here for. That's not what it's supposed to be. And it's not stopping. It's getting worse. So, like, I've said before, if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, the universe is going to give you a kick in the ass and push you in the right direction. And right now, what we just saw from Hurricane Harvey, were those racial people, those people that were racially divided, we saw them helping one another. We saw them taking care of each other. We saw them getting along and their train of thought changing. We saw the people that, in general, people in America care way too much about things and not people. And those things are being taken away from them, destroyed. Houses, stuff that they own, tangible items, all being taken from them, destroyed. And all they have left is each other. That's it. There were a bunch of tornadoes that ripped through the Midwest. And it's like you're looking at all this mass destruction. And when you start adding it up, the fires, we have fire, we have floods, we have earthquakes, and that big one that Aaron and I were talking about last night, fireballs from the sky. Now think about it like this. What looks like a fireball? To Nostradamus, what would look like a fireball? Or to anyone in biblical times, what would look like a fireball? I mean, a comet, a meteor, a missile? Yeah. So Nostradamus predicted the Third World War would be started by the Antichrist. This guy in North Korea, obviously, he doesn't care about his own people. He would level his entire country just to say, I did this, you can't do this to me. He doesn't care. There's the Antichrist. The Third World War would be started by the Antichrist and would change it would end the world as we know it. That was his exact words, right? Let me paraphrase just in case it wasn't exact. Well, I do believe that what we're seeing right now was predicted. I believe that we had gotten ourselves in a spot, energy-wise, as humans in general, and this is the universe's way of shaking the fuck out of everybody and waking everybody up. Like, and I guarantee you that right now, a lot of people are not seeing what I see. They're not seeing what Aaron sees. They're not seeing what the spiritual community sees. What they see is earthquakes, and they see, forest fires, and they see, the hurricanes, and they see a threat from North Korea, and they see all this stuff, but none of it clicks because they're still not awake. The ascension itself, from what I understand, and Aaron and I were talking about this last night. She understands a lot more of this stuff than I do. Ascension itself doesn't mean that we all die and go to heaven. That's not what that means. My interpretation of it. My interpretation of it is the ascension is getting to another level of mankind where you're peaceful, which is close to God. Peace and love, close to God. So you're living a godly life. That's what that whole thing, I'm absolutely positive that that's the interpretation of, people take the literal interpretation because back then, biblical times, Nostradamus and shit, they didn't know what the fuck, they had no idea what this is going to be like. They didn't know mosquitoes, helicopters, man flying on the side of I have a mosquito. They didn't know helicopters. They didn't know what missiles were. They didn't know what bombs were. They didn't know what any of this shit was. But they described things that are real to us right now. And you see it clear as day. Like, this is the end of days as we know it. And I do believe that after this is over, we're going to see something happen. Like, everybody's coming together now. The people that didn't necessarily want to come together are coming together, realizing, maybe I shouldn't give a shit about this car that I wanted to buy or my house or whatever. Maybe I should care about my community and the people around me. So when that stuff is rebuilt, there's a new renewal of sense of community. People around you, taking care of one of thy neighbors. I mean, it's happening right now, right in front of us. And I'm not saying it's like the Bible, and this is what we're going to happen. We're all going to be judged and stuff. I mean, honestly, I don't believe that. I don't believe that there is this omnipotent being named God who's got a long white beard sitting on the fucking cloud with 2 tablets in his arm that have the 10 Commandments on it. I don't believe that. But I do believe there's something there, and I do believe that it guides us, and we don't listen. And when we don't listen, it forces us to listen. And that's exactly what's happening right now. So I think that by the time this thing is done, I don't know if it's going to be a third world war. I think, honestly, it will be more than likely most of the countries against North Korea, which I don't know if that's how it's going to go, or we're going to do something so bad in North Korea, the rest of the world says, you can't have this, you're not supposed to have this. Do we have something that we're not supposed to have in America that's going to cause people to freak the fuck out and not want to be around us? I don't know. But I mean, it's happening. It's absolutely, I mean, if you can't see it, I mean, there's no coincidences. I don't give a shit what anybody says. I'm tired of people blindly looking at things and following like sheep and not paying attention to looking for themselves and thinking for themselves and drawing the parallels. Like, I mean, how the fuck could you not see the fire, the floods? I mean, it's exact what they said. Doesn't mean the same thing, but it's the exact description. And it's pretty hard to ignore. So at this point, I guess we ride it out. And the people that need to be shaken awake are going to be shaken awake. And the people that are not able to ascend to that type of thinking, I think that's what it really is. The ascension, you're ascending to a type of thinking and a type of living rather than physically ascending. I think everybody takes everything for the physical because we're human. Everything is very physical. If you can't touch it, it doesn't exist, right? I mean, when you're a kid, your parents tell you that ghosts are not real. Well, guess what? They are real. The human spirit is real. I'm not even sure if it's the human spirit, but spirit in general, science has explained it as energy. It said energy cannot cease to exist. It can only change forms. That is scientific, and they say that is true. But the scientific community doesn't believe in the human soul because that is a myth, right? It's religious. But they believe in this energy. It's the same fucking thing. However you want to describe it is up to you. I don't really give a shit. But to sit back and say these things don't exist and live blindly, I think that's going to be ending in a large part very soon. So hopefully you guys like this video. If you did, smash like down below and hit me up in the comment section. Let me know if you like these. I'm Biosphere and I approve this message, and we're out.